Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called the first edition of the most accurate NFL power rankings in the known universe. And if you disagree with any one of the placements, you are incorrect. How does that feel? Because I have this connection with the universe. Like I just electricity through my fingers. And we're going to go 1 through 32 and place where the teams are and stuff, because that's how power rankings work. And I know the first thing you're going to say, oh, the Vikings are way too high, oh, you're biased, or whatever. But again, what did I say about being in touch with the universe? The universe touches me. There you go. All right, so let's start all the way down the bottom. As we usually do, you got the Bears and the stupid Packers, right? So the Bears at 33. Yeah, that means that Bama's going to be in this list. Woo! Roll Tide. But the Bears, they're not doing Justin Fields any favors. Ryan Poles, I feel like they're embracing the suck. I feel like they're actively trying to tank, kind of like the Seahawks. It happens. Matt Eberflus, the new IKEA toilet, the new head coach. I think that he trying to install the new defense. They got rid of Akeem Hicks. They got rid of Khalil Mack. It's whatever. It's whatever. Bears. Hopes down the drain. Packers, everyone and their mom, all the national media Dramoni haircuts are trying to say the Packers are going to be top dog in the conference just like previous seasons. I don't see it. I mean, all this time they've been hyping up Devonta Adams as the best wide receiver in the game, even though he's top 3. Maybe he's 3. And then he just leaves, and I was like, oh, we ain't going to miss a beat. Aaron Rodgers got paid $50 million. Oh, he's back off the ayahuasca. It looks like he's weighing 60 pounds. That's really going to help with his bird bones of Boniva. Oh, we're going to be a running and defense team now. Please, 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 please. 31. Got the Falcons. Maybe a little bit rough. We're Arthur Smith. I like what they're doing, but it's a transition. So they got rid of Matt Ryan. They brought in Marcus Mariota. They drafted Desmond Ridder. Is Ridder going to be the guy of the future, or is the season just going to spiral, going to go downhill? They got some nice young pieces. They got Drake London. I love me some Kyle Pitts as well, but I don't know. I think they're going to be in the market for a quarterback at the top of next year's draft. 30. Yeah, Bama. Roll Tide. I mean, this may be Nick Saban's best Bama team, and that's saying a lot. I mean, Bryce Young is a stud. Will Anderson should be the first non-quarterback taken in the draft, if not the number 1 overall pick next year. It's going to be sexy time, man. 29. Got the Seattle Seahawks, where they moved on from Russell Wilson, traded him to the Broncos, and I do think that Pete and John Schneider are fully embracing the suck, even though Pete's getting up there in age, man. Like he has youthful exuberance, but he's 70. I mean, come on. But, yeah, they're embracing it. Their quarterbacks are Geno Smith, who beat out Drew Lock, and then also Sean Maintenance on the practice squad. Yikes. If you're DK, if you're Tyler Lockett, I mean, come on. 28. Got the Steelers, where they just named Mitchell Trubisky-Ponder their quarterback 1, and then they're having this debate, is Mason Rudolph or is Kenny Pickett the quarterback 2? Doesn't matter. I mean, it's TJ Watt and everyone else. Yes, they got Deontay Johnson. Yes, they got Najee Harris. But, I mean, other than that, the offensive line, the other weapons, the rest of the defense, besides Minka, I don't know, man. 27. You got the Carolina Panthers. Now, some people are picking the Panthers to be a surprise team in the NFC South. I just don't see it. I do think that Matt Rule's 17-year, $9 billion contract was a mistake. I think that him and GM Scott Fritter may be on the hot seat, and they're just throwing darts, man. They're just grasping at straws. They drafted Matt Corral. He's going to miss the season. They traded for Sam Darnold last year. They traded for Baker Mayfield. And you would think that if you had the top 2 of the top 3 picks in an NFL draft, that you would be good, but no, you are absolutely not. McCaffrey's way overhyped yet again. Robbie Anderson probably wants out. The only saving grace is that defense. They're young, they're fast, they get after it. 26, you got the Giants. This may be too high. I don't know. Like I like me some Brian Daboll. He doesn't have himself a quarterback. There are some nice pieces. But Saquon, is he going to be part of the future? I do like Brandon Beane being in charge there. Kenny Golladay, that contract was a disaster defensively. They're incorporating some new things. They got a nice draft picks, so I don't know. Jaguars at 25. Jaguars may surprise some people. They play in a relatively benign division. I mean, you got the Colts and the Tennessee Titans, whatever, and they got the Texans, sure. But we'll get to the Texans in a second. But they spent a lot of money in free agency. It's one of the benefits of having Trevor Lawrence on his rookie deal. They get Etienne back. They get James Robinson back. They got Walker on defense, as well as Josh Allen, the other one. So, I mean, They could be a little bit spicy. Like, I don't think they'll just get blown out every single game like same old Jacksonville Jaguars. But are they ready for prime time? Probably not. 24. Texans. I actually like the Texans, where Lovie Smith is this calming influence, even though, I mean, David Culley was perfectly fine last year. Maybe Davis Mills can develop into something, and maybe they can get a little something going down there in Houston with Nick Caserio. 23. You got the Jets, where Zach Wilson, I mean, they got the best case scenario news in that Wilson, if he misses time, it's not going to be long, and he may even go week 1. But that scary-looking non-contact knee injury ain't no thing. But Wilson and Elijah Moore and Breece Hall, I mean, they got weapons. Tyler Gronklin, Azuma. So they got some nice pieces on offense. Rob Salah is putting together a really nice, young, fast defense as well. I mean, so the Jets, probably a couple years away, but they're interesting. 22, the Washington Commies. Now, they may be too high. Actually, I'm going to change things up. Yeah. All right, so how do we do this? There we go. All right, so they're hitching their wagons to Carson Wentz. They just signed up Scary Terry. I do like their pieces. Frankly, they may have the best defensive line in football, but they haven't really done much with it. I like Ron Rivera a lot, except I think he may just be stuck. And I don't see Washington really grinding and making some forward progress this year, pun intended. So, I mean, this may just be another lost season by the Potomac. 21, got the Arizona Cardinals. And I think that they're really going to miss Nuke. Well, like, extremely going to miss Nuke. I mean, Kyler is a bit like Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M when he had Mike Evans, where Kyler just runs around, razzle-dazzle, throws it up, F it, Nuke's down there somewhere, just like Manziel was like, F it, Mike Evans was down there somewhere. And the Cardinals, Marquise Brown is not a wide receiver 1. He just isn't. AJ Green is on his last legs, and then Rondale Moore, I think, is a high-end wide receiver 3, maybe a 2 down the line. That's it. That's it. They paid James Conner defensively. I mean, they got the corpse of J.J. Watt. They lost Chandler Jones. I don't know, man. 20. Got the Detroit Lions. Now, Lions, maybe they should be a little bit higher, but I really respect what they have done in Detroit, just racking up and stacking up a lot of talent there. And I do think that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell do have a bright future. They have really improved in both trenches. And if they can just find themselves a quarterback, I mean, Jared Goff ain't it. But the receivers, once Jameson Williams gets back from his ACL, him, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I mean, that's looking pretty good. Plus, I got DJ Chark floating around there. Hawkinson is one of the better young tight ends in the game. 19, got the Cleveland Browns. So this may be, actually, I would drop the Browns if they didn't have such a good offensive line, and also if they weren't so good at running the ball. Because Jabroni Brisket ain't going to be it. I mean, Deshaun gets back after 11 games, sure. And Stefanski, this is going to be a tough one for Stefanski because, I mean, Jimmy Haslam has zero patience. And even though they went to the playoffs first year, last year not so much, this year, I mean, could it be 3 and out for Kevin Stefanski? I hope not, but we'll see. 18, Dolphins. I'm not buying into the hype quite yet. I think that they will be a tough and dangerous football team, but it remains to be seen. I like the Terron Armstead acquisition. I like the trade for Tyreek Hill. But is Tua going to be that guy? I mean, you have 2 of the best deep threat receivers in the league, and you have a quarterback who can't throw it out of his own shadow. In fact, 2 of them, because he got Teddy as well. 17. Got the when the Saints. I think they're greatly going to suffer from losing douchebag Sean Payton. I mean, he is what he is, but he is one of the better offensive minds of the game. I think that Dennis Allen is fine. I think their defense is going to be solid. But can the Saints move the ball, especially with Kamara on suspension? I understand the hype of Michael Thomas being back for the first time in 17 years. I do like Olave, but is Jameis Winston going to be that dude? I don't know. I just don't see it quite yet. 16, you got the Tennessee Titans. You got Tannehill. You got Treylon Burks replacing A.J. Brown. Then you got the Derrick Henry. Can he come back off of injury? There's just too many question marks. Like I'm really not sold on Tennessee. 15, you got the Patriots. And I understand preseason is preseason, but I'm legitimately worried about Mac Jones and this offense. The defense will be fine, as it always is with Belichick. But the fact that your OC, the guy calling the plays, is Matt Patricia and Joe Judge, both the guys who did not have an offensive background, I don't know. 14, you got the Dallas Cowboys. They're really going to miss Tyron. Tyler Smith is not ready to be left tackle. Jason Peters should have retired a couple years ago. But I mean, the Cowboys do have some nice pieces. The question is, can CD be the true wide receiver one? Can he function without Amari there taking attention away from him? Can Zeke and Pollard, can they work things out? Can the rest of the offensive line step up? Defense, I mean, it's got to be more than just Parsons. And then Trevon Diggs just gambling and getting interceptions while also giving up 1,000 yards receiving. 13. Got the Eagles. Now, the Eagles are slowly becoming the cat's ass in terms of being everyone's hype team. I think that Sirianni's crew is just a little ways away still. I like their offensive line. Devontae Smith is a stud. Jalen Hurts, I think, is developing nicely, and their defense is absolutely legit, but I don't know. I ain't scared of them. 12, you got the Raiders, where Derek Carr, everyone tries to bump him up, but he does get Devontae Adams, and they go way back like chiropractic all the way to Fresno State. But I mean, they're sifting through. I mean, they're sifting through and just trying to make something out of the Mayock and Gruden drafts, which is just nothing doing. They got rid of Leatherwood. They didn't pick up any of the fifth-year options of like Josh Jacobs or Abrams or obviously not Clelin Ferrell, but they do have what's left of Chandler Jones, and they certainly do have Max Crosby, a.k.a. Baby Jared Allen, so maybe they'll get something going. 11. Tough division, though. 11, you got the Niners. I believe in Trey Lance. I think that he can step up, but I understand why they brought back Jimmy G. But they got a good offensive line. Trent Williams is still the best left tackle of his generation. That defense can certainly be very sporty and getting after it. I do like the war pickup. So, Niners 11, sure. 10, you got the Colts. Colts have a fast, fun defense, as well as they have a very solid offensive line. Obviously, Jonathan Taylor-Thomas is the bee's knees in terms of fantasy running backs. I like Michael Pittman a lot, and I do think that Matt Ryan can be a calming presence where Carson Wentz clearly was not last year. So the Colts, 2 years ago, they won 11 games with the corpse of Phillip Rivers. All right, so they'll be in business. 9, I think they'll win the division. 9, you got the Baltimore Ravens, where the contract drama with Lamar isn't going to get resolved. I don't think so. Can he turn into more of a pure passer? Probably not. But can Bateman operate as a wide receiver one? Sure. The defense is always solid. They get Ronnie Stanley back, so they'll be tough. 8, you got the Broncos. Trading for Russell Wilson. That's right, man. So they got themselves a quarterback now. They just had to give up Noah Fant and some change. It happens, but the defense is still legit. Nathaniel Hackett, I think, will get that offense going. There's a lot of talent to work with in Denver, but again, tough division. I mean, they may have they may win 9-10 games and still end up third in the division. 7, you got the Minnesota Vikings. Brrr. That's right. So we didn't go full homer. If we went full homer, we would put the Vikings at 1. But you look at the schedule, you look at the offense. They're going to check that box on the offensive line. Hopefully Bradbury gets some stuff together. That defense is going to be fast and opportunistic. It's not going to be lethargic and just give up run like they had the last 2 years. So this team is going to play with the lead. The defense is going to play downhill with said lead, and they're just going to get after it. I think that they are young. I think they're energetic. I think the culture has shifted, and I think Kevin O'Connell is going to lead them to a very surprising season this year. 6, you got the Chargers, where this may be low. Actually, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to put the Bucs at 6 because screw them. All right, so the Bucs. Can you have a Super Bowl hangover a couple of years afterwards? So BA bounced. Todd Bowles is in charge here. Defensively, they've been solid the last couple of years, but they're having a bit of a makeover right now. They jettisoned JPP. They didn't re-sign Sue, which is fine. I get it. But Tom Brady just saying deuces for 11 days in the middle of preseason and training camp. Like, what's that about? Plus, their offensive line is in tatters. Gronk retired. They still have a ton of weapons with Evans and Godwin and Fournette. But I don't know. I really don't know if the Bucs are just going to operate the way they have the last couple of years. Number 4, got the Rams. 5, you got the Chargers. That may be too low. I really like and respect what Brandon Staley has done. I think that defense is going to be too legit to quit. It may be top 5, maybe even top 3. Justin Herbert is one of the best young quarterbacks in the game. Like, Herbert, to me, is right up there with Josh Allen, maybe ahead of Allen in terms of taking better care of the football, but Allen gets all the hype. Herbert is sort of gets slept on, but the Chargers, they greatly improved their offensive line, as well as they got weapons all over the place. Eckler is a stud. Mike Williams, jump ball specialist. Josh Palmer, the pride of Tennessee, I like a lot. Keenan Allen is perennially underrated. Nailed it. So I think the Chargers will be in there. The Rams, can the Rams repeat? It's a big question. So they lost Big Wit. Defensively, they're still solid. They lost a lot of the brain trust in Kevin O'Connell as well as Wes Phillips. Stafford's been dealing with some elbow stuff. They still don't have a running back. Wide receivers, I mean, OBJ is not there anymore. They brought in Allen Robinson. Cooper Kupp is still that dude, but I don't know. 3. Got the Bengals where the Bengals, if the Bengals had their current offensive line, they spent a lot in free agency. If they had this offensive line Super Bowl, they easily win, right? So, I mean, Joe Burrow coming off that Super Bowl where he just got shredded, got his ass handed to him. But, I mean, the defense with Hendrickson and company, they're still good with Mixon. And also, frankly, they have like a really nice receiving trio with Chase, with Higgins, as well as Tyler Boyd working the slot. So, I mean, the Bengals can stay good. I don't think this is the last that we've heard of them. 2, got the Chiefs. Now, to a degree, yes, you could say the Chiefs could suffer similarly to the Packers where you lose your wide receiver 1, except the Chiefs, I mean, the drop-off to the second receiver with the Chiefs, Travis Kelce, they ain't the drop-off of going from Devontae Adams to Allen Lazard. It just ain't that. So Andy Reid, he will compensate. I do think that Juju could have himself a big season, maybe even MVS actually earn some of that money. Who knows? But they still have a fantastic offensive line. The defense can be opportunistic at times, so I'm still in on the Chiefs. And lastly, of course, they got the Buffalo Bills. Yes, I'm buying into the hype. Leslie Frazier has one of the best defenses in the National Football League. Hopefully, Trey White is able to go at some point this season. And then, of course, you got Josh Allen. You got Stephon Diggs. I think Gabe Davis is going to have a breakout season. You know, he already broke out to a degree last year. And also, I mean, they got a solid offensive line, and I think that it's Singletary, Moss, and James Cook right now in the backfield. I think James Cook is going to come out ahead. I think he's going to be that dude at the end of the day. But that's it. That's our pre-Week 1 NFL Power Rankings. And again, if you disagree with any of the places, you are obviously incorrect. How does it feel? Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Most support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.